In your last 7 playoff series, in game 1 of each of those series, you scored at least 30 points. What is your approach going into game 1 of the playoffs?
Just setting the tone. Just trying to be aggressive, making the defense have to react to me. Pretty much my mindset every time I get out there. Because honestly, you really evaluate the series. You kind of go over the film. It's the first time having film. You can watch all the film from the regular season, but for me, just trying to be aggressive from the jump, first playoff game, and go from there.
And then Ty, for you, how would you summarize your playoff debut?
Solid.
Yeah, first time in the playoffs. Damn sure didn't look like it.
Solid, yeah.
Solid.
Solid game 1. We can really reevaluate after the series.
Donovan, would you like to?
Solid.
Joe.
Donovan, you go back with Ty back to your guys' high school days. How satisfying is it for you to see him have the breakout game that he had?
I mean, this has always been. This isn't a shocker. I don't think any of us are surprised at what he's doing on a nightly basis. He's done this at every level for us this season. It is full circle to come back from being when we were 8 years old to my first basketball teammate to now here we are. Baseball too. Play baseball together. So it's pretty wild. But this is who Ty is. This is not a shock. I know everybody's gonna react like this is a shock, but he's been doing this for us all year. This is just an added bonus. Every time he steps on the floor, he's doing something positive.
And then Ty, what was your mood going in before this game? Were you like, it's about damn time that I get in a playoff game, or just any nerves?
For sure. Definitely a lot of excitement. Crowd was awesome. But once, ran up and down 3-4 times, at the end of the day, you shoot the ball the same way. Same people guarding you, same people you're trying to stop. So it's still a basketball game at the end of the day, but crowd was phenomenal. So that's, you have that extra excitement.
Nate.
Hey Donovan, you talked about wanting to set the tone. Obviously, you were attacking a lot, but also just little moments of intensity where you were diving for the ball on the one play, shoving somebody out of the way, yelling, the crowd. How important is it to set the tone in those little ways?
Yeah, it's the playoffs. I think that's what ultimately what it is. The little things. Obviously, the 30's cool, but it's for me, I'm happy with my defensive possessions. I wish I got a few more rebounds.
30's cool, right?
That's what I've been that's what I'm known for. You know what I'm saying? But I think as a, for me, it's the steals, being in the passing lanes, getting on the boards, boxing out, diving on loose balls, different things like that. That's really what's gonna continue to take us to that next level.
Ty, just real quick, obviously, before you had a really solid, I guess you would say, playoff debut, you were named a finalist for Sixth Man of the Year. What does that mean to you to be in that mix?
Yeah, no, it's definitely, especially after last year, not being able to play the whole year, not being able to play in the playoffs, just watching, speaks to how my teammates have empowered me, how my coaching staff has empowered me since day one, for sure. So definitely means something for sure. But now we got playoffs started and bigger things to worry about.
Joe V.
How much of what we see now, see you accomplish, and the way you carry yourself, how much of that is a product of the time you had on your hands last year while you were hurt and unable to play, just alone to think, I guess?
Yeah, I think a lot goes into that. You get time to reflect on kind of where you need to take the next step. Coming into this year, you kind of going into the off season. Your back's kind of against the wall. You don't play any games. I don't really have a huge body of work in the NBA, and you kind of have one last shot in a way to make it right. And I think just really getting time to think about what I need to really improve on, and having the time to do it in the weight room, with the treatment, and spending a lot of time in there, spring, summer, fall, leading into the season, even now after every game in the weight room. So just kind of in that way, for sure.
Do you feel the crowd support behind you, and just sort of how popular you are when you're out there doing what you do?
Yeah, the crowd's been phenomenal since game 1, since our home opener against Detroit. I remember that the crowd was unbelievable, and then they were unreal tonight too. So we definitely feel that as a group, and we're gonna need him the rest of this run.
Please stop chanting his name at the free throw line. He missed twice. Please. All right.
Yeah, I agree. I need to quiet when I shoot those free throws.
Spence.
Don, revisiting a conversation we had around training camp about multiple ball handlers, and that's something that this team hasn't had for the last couple postseasons. You guys had, between you, DG, and Ty, had 85 points, 4 turnovers, and I think it's like 10 assists or something like that. Just having that kind of control of a game, what does that do for this team if you can continue being as clean, playing as clean as you are?
Yeah, it's you got 3 guys who are very talented with the basketball. I think you trust the 3 of us late game to initiate the offense, to attack, to pass, and then with that trust that we have, it's on us to make, like you said, make those the right decisions. And like I said, you said at training camp, like understanding that I don't have to be ball dominant, DG doesn't be ball dominant. Same thing with Ty. And then on top of that, we're really good catch and shoot players. So it's like you kind of have to pick your poison in that regard. And tonight was just an example of it, but we got to do it again on Wednesday.
And for either of you, Kenny was really complimentary of DG's defense tonight, and I looked at the way he fronted Bam in the post and got that steal. Just when he's able to be active on that end and get you guys in transition, what does that do?
Yeah, I mean, that led to a 3, right? Was it to a Sam 3? Or maybe I think Sam might have missed, but like that possession, him going up for the rebounds, I think that's huge. He's taken that challenge all year. Kenny challenged him to start the year, and to his credit, he's answered the bell every time. And tonight was, just another night where he's just continuously putting forth the effort on the defensive end, and then obviously offensively taking care of business like he always does. So that's big. It's big time. We need that. We're going to continue to need that going forward, and really propels us, as a group.
Ty, really quick. Don kind of pointed it out that they've all known who you are. You know who you are. How much of that fire inside you has just been there naturally, maybe even at Golden State when you didn't get the opportunity, versus how much got to just blossom here being in the environment?
Yeah, I think a little bit of both. It's definitely something that I've had since I was young, the confidence, something my dad always preached to me. But I think kind of back to his question about when you have all that time off and you're kind of sitting there and you have time to reflect and do mental work and see what you need to improve on, like confidence and aggression was a thing for me as well, especially. So I think it's a mix of both for sure.
For Ty, first, it's been said by many people you came into camp as a bit of a talker, starting with the summer. In an endearing way, by the way. But how is that, when they, are telling you, hey, take it easy here, and you didn't. How has that manifested, though, in what you've not only been able to do throughout the regular season, but, leading to a performance to tonight, just that attitude that you have?
I think at the end of the day, you got to be who you are within the team, obviously, and eventually when you know yourself very well and you have a way of getting along with your teammates, also, your team starts to empower you to be your full self, and when you're being your full self is when you can kind of reach your full potential.
And for Donovan, back to you attacking the rim tonight. It seemed like that was really intentional on your part early to really go at them. Was that a byproduct of you going into the game knowing that's exactly what you wanted to do, or did you see something early where you felt you might have had an advantage doing that?
Just taking what the game gives me. You know what I mean? I think my first shot was a 3, and I saw I should have drove. I had a gap, and then just continually just making not settling over and over again. Excuse me. Getting to the rim, just trying to make plays. And, tonight it was scoring. Next game they may help, and I may have to kick it out. You know what I mean? So just kind of just whatever the game calls for at that time, that's pretty much the mindset. Just trying to be aggressive. And aggressive doesn't always mean getting downhill and scoring, and tonight it was. And, Wednesday, just reading whatever happens. They come to the rim, kick it. If not, just continue to do what I've been doing.